Welcome back. Tonight we are going back to Division C West after casting a replay match from Crimson 5 and Red Dragons yesterday. Tonight it's time for AnarchY versus US Army Esports. This time it's going to be a live match, so those two teams are readying in their lobby as we speak. We have Towers of Doom and Tomb of the Spider Queen, two relatively short maps banned by AnarchY, while the team of US Army Esports opted to ban the larger maps, Cursed Hollow and Sky Temple. It seems like both of those teams already having a strategy in mind, already having their own game plan. And then Dragonshire was picked by AnarchY as they decided to go for map pick in this first game. First pick is going to go to US Army Esports. So now we're just waiting for the lobby link. So, both of those teams in C West, AnarchY has had a rough start to their season, unfortunately, so far. Haven't won a game yet. But tonight might just be the time to turn things around and climb back up and secure themselves a place in the upcoming playoffs that are going to be in... I believe we're at about the halfway point of the season, so in about 5 or 6 weeks we should have playoffs starting. Looks like the lobby is posted, so games should start soon. US Army Esports so far having a pretty decent start to their season, 7 wins and 7 losses in their division so far. No dominations. Both teams having played 5 matches so far. So I would say that US Army Esports is slightly favored to win the matches tonight, but I'm very, very excited to see the games that are going to be on full display. AnarchY hopefully is going to take us to a game 3 at least, and maybe even win this this fight. We'll see who comes out on top. Players are gathering in their respective lobbies. I unfortunately did not have time to do some proper scouting on all of the different players like I did for the last time. That means I'm going in as blind as most of you potentially watching are. That means also I'll have slightly less insightful commentary during draft, but I'll do my best to be entertaining nonetheless. And if there are some supporters or even players of either of the teams tonight, make sure to cheer for your respective team, for the team you're rooting for. Give them some energy. They could definitely use it. I can't wait for this first game on Dragonshire. I love Dragonshire as a spectator, but I don't like it as much as a player. It's very, very complicated to play. For those who might not know, even though you probably do, Dragonshire, a slightly different map than the usual. You have to control 2 shrines, one in the top lane, one in the bottom lane. You have to channel them to long enough to capture the point, each of the points, and once you have both captured, you can channel the dragon in the middle lane, and if you succeed, you take the dragon for yourself. You get to ride it like some sort of a mech, like the mech on Volskaya's Foundry. One person gets to wreak havoc on the structures of their enemies. It looks like both teams have convened for a small break before the games start. So we're going to go to a small break as well. I'm going to get something to drink, and we'll be right back when the games are about to start, so we can dive right into the draft. See you soon. Alright, everyone is ready and the game is going to start very shortly. I had the time to do some very basic scouting, and as we were moving into the draft, let's see exactly what they're going to bring to the table. US Army Esports has the first pick. They do play potentially some strong global heroes. We might see a Falstad, we might see a Brightwing. The only strong global that I could see so far on the side of AnarchY was the Brightwing, but since US Army Esports has the first pick, they might be opting to take it, but US Army might just as well ban it. We'll see what they opt to do. Looking forward to see what AnarchY is going to bring. They have some very interesting heroes, like the Kerrigan, that I see that they play quite a lot. I would love to see it on this map. US Army Esports, instead opting to ban the Brightwing, they don't want to play her, and are just going to take away that strong global from AnarchY instead. How is AnarchY going to respond to this? They also have the Junkrat in their arsenal. They have Blaze that they can send in the offlane, which could be very strong on this map. They have multiple very strong options. What do they want to ban from US Army Esports? They're going to get rid of the Garrosh. A very, very solid decision. US Army Esports does play the Garrosh. They also have Joanna, they have Diablo, they have a Nubarak. They have a lot of potential strong options in their arsenal. The Garrosh, very strong on Dragonshire. Joanna is still up, however, and she can also be a force to be reckoned with. If you're in the match and you're watching this and you know a little bit of those teams, feel free to tell me what you think they're going to go for, what you think would be optimal for them. We see the Stitches being banned by US Army Esports, getting rid of any potential Gorge play, which could be very, very impactful. We see the Stukov being banned as well. I like to see this. I would have preferred to see the Stukov being played, but respect for the ban. It's definitely a very solid ban. US Army Esports plays a little bit of Stukov, not one of their most common picks, but it is available. They instead decide to go for Lucio as a healer. First picked into this map. High priority pick. Lucio could be countered by a potential Diablo, which is up for AnarchY. Instead, they're going to go for the Kerrigan, which I'm very, very happy to see, and a Deckard. Deckard and Kerrigan, two heroes with a lot of CC. They might be looking for a potential Wombo combo comp, and US Army Esports probably knows that this is coming now. They're going to have to find ways to respond to this. Lucio, thankfully for them, might already be somewhat of an answer with movement speed, shields, or high five. They go for Junkrat and Greymane. One poke hero, one dive hero. Very well rounded. Both of them being very, very high DPS with a little bit less CC. Most of the CC so far is on the side of AnarchY. They're going to have the lockdown. Junkrat can poke at the objective and at the enemy forts for days, however, and that's going to be a problem for AnarchY to deal with. They're going to ban the Joanna, not wanting to see it. Very, very respectable. No tanks so far being picked. They're going to ban the Diablo, not wanting that Diablo to go up against the Lucio or to dive their Junkrat. Diablo is very, very, very strong on most maps, but to set up engages and dives especially. What is AnarchY going to respond with? Potentially high damage in specific areas to continue that combo, but instead, Tracer and Varian. I look forward to seeing whether that Varian is going to be a tank Varian or a offlane Varian. Both of those options are available. And swap is very possible as well. We see Dehaka and a Nubrak. Love to see the Dehaka on this map, going into the off lane, having the possibility to go anywhere to support any of the lanes, to interrupt a potential channel on the objective if necessary. A Nubrak being picked, lots and lots of magic armor, but so far the damage coming from AnarchY is mostly physical. You go for Malthael, so it looks like it's going to be a taunt Varian, and Malthael is going to go in the offlane against the Haka. Can't wait to see that matchup. Let's go for a short intro video before the game starts. Let me know which one of those teams you think has the better draft, and we're going to be right back.
Oh, a swap! Oh no, but a swap followed by a light bomb.
Here. 4-man mosh pit followed by a tomb. Oh no! Oh, here's light bomb coming in on the Genji, and that's a 5-man light bomb. They're gonna follow up, and they're gonna get 1, 2, 3 kills.
And it's gonna be everybody dying. Oh my God! When does this happen? Everybody's dead.
Alright, we're loading in. Loading is almost done. Taking a little longer than usual. There we go. Loading in to Dragonshire. On the blue side of the map, for AnarchY, we have the Joker on Varian, Hunterlust on Malthael, Grizzly64 on the Kerrigan, Pixely Jr. on Tracer, and Yurkowski on Deckard. Deckard Cain, the brave old man. And on the red side of the map, for US Army Esports, we have Simeon on the Lucio, Badger on the Anubarak, B Singer 82 on the Junkrat, Fracture on the Greymane, and Shrinks on the Haka.
Fight well, heroes.
Alright, if anybody can tell me how to make this thing in the bottom left disappear, I would be eternally grateful. I accidentally clicked on a building, and that's going to stay there for a little while. First level talents, we see Accelerando from the Lucio. Love to see it. In Division E, we often see Party Mix being used, but Accelerando has so much more potential at higher skill level. Junkrat goes into the bottom lane to begin soak, as well as the Haka. They're going to look for an early lead into that soak. The gank on that Junkrat not going to be able to connect. We see Lion's Maw out of the Varian, something we don't see too often, but it's going to provide very, very good slows and self-heals for Varian. And Scroll of Identify from the Deckard. I love to see it. Objectives are already about to pop very early on this map. And as far as comps go, I have to say I think US Army Esports has a slight advantage in terms of their comp, but AnarchY has a very, very strong ability to potentially pick on their enemies with an endless amount of CC and a lot of damage from the Tracer coming out and dwindling the health of whoever they decide to pick on very, very fast. US Army Esports has the global, however. They have movement speed, they have a Junkrat, which can do a lot of damage from afar. And a Nubarak can potentially save the life of whoever gets targeted by AnarchY's pick. Early on already, we see objective being channeled by US Army Esports. They try to do a gank on Hunterlust. Will they manage to get the kill? Hunterlust barely managing to escape with a well-timed Q. But that top camp of AnarchY is going to go down, and now US Army Esports has a lot of pressure in that top lane. They're going to give up that bottom altar, but the Haka is going to sneakily go and camp it again, using his global to his full advantage, and now the pressure's on. AnarchY is going to opt for a steal on this camp while the enemy team is distracted. They're going to try and interrupt the potential channel on the dragon as long as they can. But US Army Esports is not yet interested in this dragon. They're interested in doing as much damage as they can to that top lane and keeping the pressure on as much as they can. AnarchY takes back this bottom altar, opting to stay mostly as a group after having retreated shortly The Malthael goes and caps the top shrine. Now both of the shrines are to the side of AnarchY. A huge engage into that bottom fort, but it seems like it might be turning on to AnarchY. Varian goes down. Pixelate is very, very low. Goes down as well. Great stuns from the Anubrak. Connects with the Decker as well. Now they're going to take both of those shrines. And with 2 members of AnarchY down, now might be a time to look to channel this objective. Malthael is looking for a potential interrupt. It's going to stay there. Instead, US Army Esports going to delay taking, or at least attempting, to take that objective for now. It's important to remember that the objective early on is very, very weak. So they might be just opting to try and take it when it matters. They're going to take this bottom bruiser camp, potentially putting pressure in both of the lanes. Dehaka is already doing a lot of damage to that Malthael. And AnarchY is putting a lot of focus into that bottom lane, taking the shrine, relieving some of that pressure. They have the bruiser camp focusing on them. Huge engage on the Junkrat. Manages to get the kill is the Tracer. And now we see the full potential of their pick comp that they decided to pick. Huge stun by the Anubrak on the Tracer. Manages to get the kill. Anubrak playing very, very well so far this game. The follow-ups are very good from his team as well. And now they might be looking at a channel. They're looking to take down that Malthael, and if they do, nothing is going to stand in the way of them channeling this objective anymore. The Kerrigan not going for the interrupt. Instead, they're going to try and recapture this shrine at the bottom, and they're going to make it neutral, which is going to allow them a little bit of breathing room. Still a lot of pressure on the map. A lot of damage going on to Fracture. Once again, they try to pick onto those squishy targets in the back line with the Varian taunt, followed by all the stun from the Kerrigan. But they don't manage to quite get the kill. US Army Esports is first to level 10, as AnarchY is pushing into their bottom fort quite aggressively, doing a lot of damage. They're going to go for High Five, Cocoon, go for the Throat, Riptire, and we don't know yet for Dehaka. He's holding it for now. Now they have all of the shrines once again. But AnarchY is hanging out in that middle lane, grabbing the experience, trying to get to 10 as fast as they can. They won't be able to fight US Army Esports for very long since they have those level 10s. Fracture on the channel, manages to get it, no interrupt, manages to connect. And now the Dragon Knight at level 10. 6 minutes into the game, still not a whole lot of health and damage, but is going to definitely take that wall down. AnarchY doing a very good job at doing damage to it as fast as they can. The Tracer especially being very, very good at whittling it down. And in the other lanes, US Army Esports is not taking a break. Both players getting experience continuously, keeping their lead as much as they can. And the Grammy is going to take this camp on his own, as he's able to do now. A lot of camp taking at this point of the game. Malthael staying in the middle lane for now. We have Anubrak potentially looking for an engage, staying in that bush. Doesn't look like he's going to be spot. The entire team of AnarchY is sitting there waiting for someone to pass through so they can melt them down with the pick comp that they have. But in the meantime, this camp might be pushing at their fort. And there's both Greymane and Dehaka. Greymane has a lot of potential siege damage he can bring, and most of the team of AnarchY is not in a position to answer to this. Most of US Army Esports is committing now to taking down this fort. They saw blood in the water. AnarchY is going to try and get a trade in the bottom fort. That was a beautiful concussive mine from the Junkrat, pushing them away for a little bit, giving time for US Army Esports to respond. Great ult as well to zone them out. Manages to get 2 of the players of AnarchY a little bit of damage. This camp is still very, very healthy though, and it has a lot of support from minions. AnarchY is going to have to respond to this, or their wall is going to fall in front of the keep. That's going to give some breathing room for US Army Esports to take down this camp and put pressure elsewhere at the same time. Malthael doing a good job taking down this wave almost entirely on his own.
Control both shrines, and the Dragon Knight's power.
He does a lot more than I thought he would. This is still in no way anyone's game. Everyone could still win this game. You see the pressure being put on that wall. They want it to fall. They have the bruiser camp. They're going to hang around it, get the spell shield from it. 20% damage reduction from spell damage is pretty huge. They're going to get the channel onto both of those shrines. Malthael doing a lot of damage onto the Dehaka, but gets silenced with the isolation. And Dehaka is going to run away for his life. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, a huge engage, a lot of damage going to the Greymane, but he finds the pick onto the Tracer. Beautiful mine by Junkrat. Manages to barely save his life. I thought he was done for, but Junkrat came in here, protecting his life, proving to the world that more than just tanks are able to do some good peeling. And now it's a 4v3 for US Army Esports. That Greymane is still very, very low on HP, but down on the shrine, a lot of damage is going on to Joker, and he's not going to be able to escape. And the remaining 2 players of AnarchY in the bottom lane are going to have to run away for their lives. And with the tank down, now might be the time for US Army Esports to try and get a second dragon. They're on their way to level 16. If they can get that level 16, another kill. I didn't see that one, but they managed to get the Malthael. This is looking bad for AnarchY. And it looks like US Army Esports is going to get that second Dragon Knight channel right as their level 16 is about to appear. The ults on the side of AnarchY, we see Last Rites, Summon Ultralisk, Quantum Spike, and Stay a While and Listen. Stay a While and Listen being potentially very, very impactful. We'll see if that manages to help turn the game around for AnarchY. This second Dragon Knight doing a decent amount of damage to this fort, not going to be able to quite finish it off. A nice root combo and stun onto the Anub'arak, but the team of US Army Esports turns around, brings the fight, and takes down the Deckard. Greymane doing a lot of damage in this game. Very good Greymane, but Last Rites goes on to him. He is doomed. Nothing he can do. A fantastic Riptire, however, rips the life out of AnarchY, and now the Joker is looking to be in a dire situation, and so is Grizzly. Both of them are going to fall, and now the situation that was already bad for AnarchY is looking very much worse. Now US Army Esports are looking to take down this fort and continue their pressure somewhere else on the map with 2 of their enemies down. Looks like they want to take this camp and push with it. They have pressure in all 3 lanes. They take down this bottom fort before Malthael can manage to relieve the pressure. And he's going to leave this siege camp alone for now. Now he's going to deal with it, knowing that US Army Esports is not waiting in the bush for him. And AnarchY still doesn't have their level 16. Taking a fight into US Army Esports is a potentially very dangerous thing. They're going to try and get that level 16 before they try, and as soon as they do, it's going to be time for them to try and make something happen before US Army Esports get their level 20, because when they do, it's going to be a long time before AnarchY gets another chance. Now is the potentially perfect window for them to turn this game around. They're unfavored, they're very much behind, but they still have a chance to turn this around. We'll see if they manage to do it. I believe in them. I'm impartial, but I want to see the games being as close as possible.
Become the Dragon Knight and claim vengeance for my family.
So both teams taking each one of the shrines. US Army Esports, however, is looking to use this camp to put a lot of pressure into that bottom lane. It's important to note, the bottom lane in this map is potentially very, very important with 3 entire camps going to it. and now one of them is enough to take down this wall. They're going to retreat now, it looks like. Yes, it looks like it. Having done what they came here to do, distracting AnarchY long enough for Dehaka to sneakily take down this, take this shrine, and now they're looking for a kill onto the Malthael. We see Isolation going down. They managed to get the kill. Well done by the Dehaka securing that kill, and now with only 4 people from AnarchY able to defend that dragon, it's going to be tough for them to keep their keep alive, especially since US Army Esports is looking to pressure on 2 different fronts. They have their level 20 now. Tracer fell as well, which is a very big source of damage from AnarchY on that dragon that is not going to be able to contribute. The Kerrigan is doing as much as she can, but unfortunately for AnarchY, that bottom keep is going to fall to the pressure of US Army Esports. They're in a very solid position. They're looking at another keep. Doesn't look like they're going to look to end just yet. AnarchY still has the potential to defend. They're going for a kill potentially on Grizzly. Beautiful burrow charge by the Anubrak is going to connect. Grizzly using their cocoon, but falls to a lot of damage by the Grey Mane. Now the dragon falls after doing a significant amount of damage onto the core. More damage goes onto it. Varian and Deckard falls. Very, very well done by the Malthael, taking down both Lucio and Greymane, but unfortunately it's too little too late. A lot of damage being focused directly onto the core, and US Army Esports take this first game of the series. Very well played by US Army Esports, a very dominant display. I loved the way that they used the Dehaka to be very, very mobile around the map, taking shrines as soon as they knew that AnarchY was distracted somewhere else. The 4-man doing very, very great, bringing that distraction to allow the Dehaka to do what he does best. Greymane, fantastic plays from the Greymane, managing to constantly connect into the backline. Anubrak with the wonderful stuns and peels. On the other side, however, they were doing pretty well too. Malthael was fantastic this game with the damage. Kerrigan finding some good picks. Tracer doing a lot of damage. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough for them. But they have a chance in the second game to turn things around. We're going to go to a small break while the next game is being set up, and we'll be right back. welcome back. We are almost ready for the second game of tonight's match, AnarchY versus US Army Esports. I'm realizing I forgot to show the talents. Oh well. Hope you were able to see them during the game. The UI for it was up, but it's always nice to see them in big after the game. We see Battlefield of Eternity having been picked by US Army Esports for this second game. That means AnarchY decided to go for first pick into the second game. We'll see how it pans out for them. US Army Esports in the first game was very, very good in their macro. Battlefield of Eternity is a map that focuses a lot less on the macro and a lot more on the moment-to-moment team fight. We'll see if they can dominate just as well in that scenario. AnarchY was very, very good with their pick comp, but the Anubarak was a big pain for them to deal with, managing to save most of the pick targets when they were being targeted. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see an Anubarak ban into the second game. The Greymane of US Army Esports was also very strong, but AnarchY also does play the Greymane, and since they do have first pick this time around, it wouldn't surprise me too much to see either a ban or a pick on that Greymane, especially since Greymane is very, very good on Battlefield of Eternity. Thank you so much, Control XS9, for the follow. Very appreciated. Hope you enjoy your time here. I really liked to see the Kerrigan as well from AnarchY. I don't know quite if Battlefield of Eternity is a good map for her. I would feel like it would not be. At least if you're trying to go for a race comp, you might want someone like maybe a Vala or a Rainer, which AnarchY does play. I think we're very likely to see the Rainer, maybe even a Gul'dan. Or I'm hoping for a Zul'jin from the side of AnarchY. We'll see what they decide to pick. And from the side of US Army Esports, if they can get the Greymane, again, I wouldn't be surprised to see it. They do have Gleaming into their arsenal as well. That is a potential very strong pick on this map. Can't wait to see what they decide to do. Once again, if you do know those teams and you know what they like to play more than I do, feel free to post in the chat. Give us some insight. Looks like all the teams are ready, so we're just about ready to start going into the draft. The Battlefield of Eternity. Alright, let's start this draft for Battlefield of Eternity. A map for which the draft is always very different than on the average map. A map that has a very, very specific meta of its own. And I always like to see what teams decide to pick or ban on this map. It's usually very, very different than what they'll decide to ban as well on different maps. They have to adapt their game plan to the map in specific a lot more. So what will AnarchY decide to ban? Will they get rid of the Anubarak or the Greymane, or will they opt to simply pick the Greymane? They decide to ban Joanna, very solid ban. She is good on every map, including this one. Very, very solid pick. US Army Esports, well, what will they ban? Will they keep the same bans as before? As we say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Or will they adapt their bans to the map? They banned the Brightwing once again, which could be a very, very strong pick here for the global. Being able to quickly change a bad situation into a good one in the offlane, or anywhere else on the map for that matter. And I'm guessing, since they didn't want to pick it into the first game despite having the first pick, it must be because AnarchY plays a pretty good Brightwing. This time around, AnarchY decides to ban the Li Ming, which is a very good choice. US Army Esports does play it, and she excels on this map, being able to chunk orbs and magic missiles at the enemy Immortal or at the enemy team from behind a wall, from cover, from a very long distance. Anduin being banned from US Army Esports, making me think they probably have a very specific idea on how they want to play this map. They're choking healers. Which healer will they pick, is what I'm wondering. They're probably going to pick a healer early if they're choking healers like that. We see the Greymane from AnarchY. I'm very, very happy to see it. It looks like I was right. They're opting to play it instead of leaving it for their opponent. Lucio once again coming out. The Lucio in game 1 was very good. We see Vala being picked. Very, very solid pick on this map as well. She's going to be able to stack quite a lot since the 4-man is going to stay relatively static quite a lot instead of having to rotate between lanes. And obviously she does a lot of damage to the Immortal. How does AnarchY respond? With an Orphea and a Diablo, love the Diablo pick. They have a lot of burst damage on their side as well. Orphea a little bit less good on the Immortal itself, as she doesn't get her mana and cooldown backs the same way she does for heroes. So maybe they might be opting for Greymane racing while the rest of the team tries to defend. That is a potential strategy. US Army Esports fully committing to their healer choke, banning the Rhaegar, which is pretty decent at taking down an Immortal. And also the damage reduction against the Vala can generally be a very, very good thing. Once again, Garrosh being banned. What can I say? It's a very solid pick. But that leaves the Anubarak potentially open once again. Maybe US Army Esports is going to opt for something slightly different to adapt to the picks of AnarchY. Looking potentially at an Artanis. Instead, we're going to see a Thrall in the offlane, which is also a very solid pick. They have Mei as their tank. I love to see it. Mei has a lot of potential CC, a lot of potential peels, slightly less frontline heavy than Diablo. And for an offlaner, we see Samuro being picked by AnarchY. I like that. And Stukov, a very, very solid healer. The healer choke of US Army Esports didn't include the Stukov, so maybe they were trying to get AnarchY to play it, or maybe they didn't think about it. Either way, I'm very happy to see Stukov being played. It's going to be awesome one way or the other. Junkrat being picked by US Army Esports as a last pick was very, very effective for them in the first game. Let's go for a short intro video in the meantime. Tell me which team you think has a stronger draft. We'll be right back.
Oh, a swap! Oh no, but a swap followed by a light bulb.
Here. 4-man mosh pit followed by Entomb. Oh no! Oh, a huge light bomb coming in on the Genji, and that's a 5-man light bomb. They're gonna follow up, and they're gonna get 1, 2, 3 kills.
And it's gonna be everybody dying. Oh my god, when does this happen? Everybody's dead!
We are loading into Battlefield of Eternity, one of my personal favorite maps. And on the side of AnarchY, we have the Joker on Diablo, Hunterlust on Samuro, Grizzly64 on the Greymane, Pixelate Jr. on Orphea, and Yurkowski on Stukov. And on the side of US Army Esports in the red, we have Simeon on the Lucio, Badger on the Mei, Fracture on Vala, Health Cliff on Junkrat, and Shrinks on the Thrall. I cannot wait to see how Samura is going to fight up to Thrall. It's not a matchup I've really seen very often. But the two orcs are going to have an interesting matchup, I'm pretty sure. In the bottom lane, we see some attempt at poking the gate by Junkrat, not quite going to be able to make it there. Looks like US Army Esports has the slight advantage early on in terms of wave clear. Those silences, though, are probably going to be instrumental in AnarchY potentially winning this game. Stukov having so much play potential. We see Samuro being first to have to take his fountain. We're all doing very well so far. Camps are up. It's always a little tricky to take this bottom camp early on. You have to try and find a way to push the other team away. It looks like US Army Esports is going to try and start it, the Blizzard, to zone the enemy team out, but AnarchY is coming in strong. Very, very good silence onto this area, but the Joker is taking a lot of damage, and the Mei is going to dive onto him and secure the kill. And Orphea is going to fall as well. Very well played by US Army Esports. Unfortunately for AnarchY, the silences were not enough. We saw Vala simply ignoring them, which she probably won't be able to do forever. Stukov went Reactive Ballistospore, not up. Oh, but very, very big mine by the Junkrat, secures the kill onto the Stukov, but Mei falls along from the damage of the Greymane. An equal trade, but that was very interesting to see. Level 4s are already up for the team of US Army Esports. So yeah, the Stukov not opting to go completely full onto his silence area, and instead going to opt for more healing and potential playmaking. Other interesting talents, we see Credo the Hunter by the Vala not going to go for the Q reset build. Both of those builds being potentially very good against the Immortal. All point being taken by Orphea. She's going to be able to do a lot of damage to the Mei in particular, and also to Thrall. And we see Rolling Thunder from Thrall, also very interesting. Thrall is already putting a lot of pressure into that top lane. It looks like he's winning the off lane so far. The first objective is up and is being contested. Both teams opting to go for a race of their own. Lucio is going to try and help his Thrall escape the potential gank, but that's going to the gank is going to give a lot of time for US Army Esports to dish some damage out onto their opponent's Immortal, giving them a short advantage onto the second half. And now that the Immortal basically flies right into their lap, they're going to get another advantage on the Immortal. AnarchY going on the defense as fast as they can. Very good grenade, bumps them away, securing a little more time for US Army Esports to do some damage, but AnarchY is doing some very good job zoning them out. Those players are in a very tight clump, but no silence. We don't see silence quite yet. I'm going to do a lot of damage on the Joker, pushing him away, trying to get those last few hits. The Joker, in a lot of trouble, dives in, manages to do a lot of damage and stuns, but unfortunately he falls before he can finish his mission. First Immortal going to US Army Esports, very well played by them. And it looks like Thrall is going to push with that Immortal, while the rest of US Army Esports team is going to push in the bottom, being defended by Samuro. But Samuro can't defend on his own. He was trapped and rooted by the Junkrat trap, and despite his attempt at running away, US Army Esports sees through the ruse and takes him down. in a top lane. The Immortal is going down very, very fast. Not going to be able to do a ton of damage. More damage coming from the team itself. And it looks like this fort is going to go down. AnarchY not going to be able to rotate just in time. Diablo going wide, potentially getting a pick. We see that minion getting the last little hit, it looks like. Or maybe it was one of the grenades from Junkrat. They're going to take down this camp. Mei on the anchoring. AnarchY doesn't look quite aware this is going on. Now the cat's out of the bag, but a little bit too late. The camp is already taken. Thrall is all out of mana here. Samurow's strength, one of his strengths anyway, being that he doesn't require mana. He can just stay in there forever. Just going to give him an advantage as he takes down this top camp. But US Army Esports is looking at it. And as soon as Samurow sees them in the lane, he's going to give up on this camp. Ooh, it looks like Mei stumbled into him, but Mei's in a lot of trouble, being in the middle of the enemy team. AnarchY doing a lot of work on that Mei, but she's going to be able to slide away with the help of Lucio's speed. No kills yet into this fight. US Army Esports with their level 10 is going to be on the chase, going to get the kill on the Greyman, and they're going to find a lot of CC going into the Joker, taking a lot of damage. The ice wall preventing Yurkoski from healing him, and Orphea falls down as well from the relentless damage of the Vala. Very well played. Dominant display so far into this game. They're going to get to level 10 first as well. We see High Five, Ice Wall, Rain of Vengeance, Riptire, and Sundering. We already saw some of those ults, and it's going to take a little while for AnarchY to get to those level 10s. They're going to have to work very hard, because this next Immortal, it's going to be hard for them to try and contest it. I don't even think they can. And instead of going for the Immortal itself, US Army Esports is instead trying to put some pressure on the map, taking this Bruiser camp right under the nose of AnarchY. AnarchY is going to try and poke at it, see if they can do something, but what can they do since US Army Esports has their level 10? Instead, they're going to have to soak as much as they can, try to take down this camp before it takes down their wall. But the Immortal is almost certainly going to go to US Army Esports. Very well played by them so far, managing to forge advantages for themselves and capitalize on them. Very good team fights as well. AnarchY on the back foot, but they're not out of this just yet. The second half of this Immortal is coming up, and they're going to look for a defense. If they can get a kill or two, the Immortal could go to them. Very good Apocalypse going into the middle of the team. Doesn't quite connect. Riptire doing a lot of damage to that Grey Mane. It's going to fall. The Ice Wall not quite connecting with anyone. The Joker, once again, in a lot of trouble. Almost the entire team of US Army Esports trying to get the kill on Diablo. They're going to find it. Slows galore on Yurkoski. He's going to fall as well. Hunterlust on the retreat. The Orphea falling as well, though I didn't quite see it. And unfortunately for AnarchY, it looks like this Immortal is going to go uncontested, and it's a full health Immortal for US Army Esports, going to rain down onto the keep of AnarchY, probably in that bottom lane. Nope, in the top it goes. A little more health on the structures up there, it looks like. And that means it's going to push with all of this pressure. USAE is going to, instead of pushing with their Immortal, push on the bottom lane, ensuring that pressure is on both lanes at the same time, and AnarchY can't concentrate all of their efforts into one lane, or if they do, they're going to lose a lot on the other side. They're going to do a lot of work on that Immortal, but it's at full shield, which allows it to be ranged as well. It's not even taking hits from this tower. Now it does. But meanwhile, US Army Esports is simply going to be able to take down this keep, and they have their level 13s. 13s, not the most impactful of talent tiers usually, but it still makes a big difference, especially as AnarchY is three levels behind. They're on the back foot severely this game. They're going to have to make something happen. They're not out of this game just yet, but it's going to be tough for them to come back. US Army Esports doing a very, very good job in this game so far. Samuro poking around, going to be caught slightly out of position, but he's going to use his shades to run out of there. And USAE looking to take this camp, painting the entire map red. A little bit late for that, but the ults on the side of AnarchY are Apocalypse, Bladestorm, Go for the Throat, Crushing Jaws, and Massive Shove. We already saw some of them. If there's an ultimate that can potentially turn this game around, it's Apocalypse. If it has some good follow-up and manages to connect, the entire team of US Army Esports could be in danger. But they're still up a talent tier. They're going to get to level 16, potentially before AnarchY even gets to level 13, and they're looking to take advantage of that level tier that they have, being very, very aggressive into the top lane. Next Immortal is about to pop up, and with the way things are going, AnarchY is going to have a lot of trouble doing anything to prevent it from being taken by AnarchY. We see multiple traps being set up in advantageous position, delaying the rotation of AnarchY. And they're already on the race, doing a lot of damage, especially the Vala. AnarchY trying to get to their level 13 as fast as they can, but USAE already has level 16. And that is a big one. That is a very big talent tier. AnarchY on the defense, already a lot of damage is going uninterrupted into that Immortal by the Vala and Junkrat. A lot of traps slowing the advance of AnarchY. Beautiful follow-up with the Rain of Vengeance and the Earthquake, the Sundering. Both the heroes go down. Orphea is quick to follow. US Army Esports very, very good at capitalizing on the roots of Junkrat with multiple sources of additional CC. We saw Rain of Vengeance and then Sundering, and then May doing what she does, and a lot of damage from the Vala sealing the deal. And with a, once again, full shield Immortal going into the top lane, full team of US Army Esports available, it's going to be tough. Nearly impossible even for AnarchY to defend. They're still going to try their best. Samuro trying to distract them as much as he can. Clearing up this wave so that it doesn't push along with the Immortal, but that full health Immortal is now fully focused on the core, and even if AnarchY focuses all of their attention on it, will it be enough? The shield is down. Samuro goes down. The hopes of AnarchY are going down just as fast, unfortunately for them. Grizzly, very low on health, is going to retreat, taking a lot of damage from that Junkrat. Beautiful Ice Wall takes them out of the game for a short instant, and the Immortal does what it does. The core goes down, and it's a very quick and dominant 2-0 by US Army Esports, taking the series by storm. What a dominant display from US Army Esports, taking down AnarchY 2-0. I do need to update the score slightly. There we go. I was hoping for games that were a little closer, but US Army Esports has to be very happy about the outcome of these games. Very, very strong display. Beautiful combos, beautiful team fights. I don't think they lost a single team fight, did they? Not in that second game, anyway. So very, very well done. That Junkrat being very impactful, doing a lot of damage. So did the Vala, especially when it came to the Immortal. Junkrat mostly doing poke, but those traps were excellent at setting up the engages that US Army Esports team needed. Orphea being very, very strong on the side of AnarchY, and so was the Diablo with the stuns, but unfortunately that Diablo was constantly being focused and not able to do quite as much as he wanted. And so AnarchY being taken down in 13 minutes. We're going to shortly go to an interview with US Army Esports. Let's go to a short, very, very short break while we set that up. We'll be right back. Oh, and before we do, this time I don't forget, here are the talents. Unfortunately, we didn't quite get to see the entire range of talents, but if you like the way that those players played their game and you want to do as well as they did, feel free to use those talents in your games, copy them, adapt them, and have fun. Alright, we're going to set up that interview now. Alright, congratulations for your team's victory.
Thank you, thank you.
That was a very, very dominant display, the likes of which I haven't seen very often. How does you and your team feel about this victory tonight?
Feeling good, feeling confident. It's our first domination of the season. We've had some pretty tough games so far. So it's always good to take a domination and get a good 2-0. I think every series this season has been a 3-game series for us. So, except when we lost, we got dominated. Yeah, but it's been a good competitive season. So we're definitely happy with how the games went. Had a strong game plan for these games, so felt good.
That's awesome. And with this victory, your team is going to manage to get up to 6th position in your bracket and in your division, I believe. So that must be quite a relief.
Definitely. I mean, our team has historically always made playoffs every single season, and we are hoping to continue that tradition. Obviously, placing higher is always better, but we definitely are happy with how the games are going, and we're looking to have a strong finish for our season before playoffs.
How long has your team been together?
We did 3 seasons in Heroes Lounge, and now this is our 4th season of NGS. So, as far as NGS, since season 12? Season 12 should be our first. 12, 13, 14. Or maybe season 11.
If it's the 4th one, it would be season 11, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. It definitely looked like you had a lot of practice playing together. In that game, too, the Junkrat was very, very instrumental from Heathcliff. Am I pronouncing that right?
Heathcliff.
Heathcliff, there we go. Yeah, those traps were very instrumental in setting up the combos that your team needed to get the victory. Props to them. How did you approach the draft into the second match on Battlefield of Eternity?
For the draft, we looked to secure. We were actually surprised. We were expecting different bans from them, but we mainly looked to secure our race for the Immortal as fast as humanly possible. So we ended up we were planning to go Grey Main because we saw they didn't ban it, and then they took it from us. So we were like, okay, let's take the Vala, let's take a strong race hero. And then as they kind of built the Diablo and the Orphea in to counter our Lucio, it was like, okay, let's switch gears. We're going to plan to fight front to back. Let's just slow the dive down, slow the whole fight down. And that was kind of the characters we took, was to disrupt dive. It wasn't necessarily to win the Immortal at that point anymore. It was just, hey, let's try to survive when Diablo and everyone starts running at us. We need to be able to survive it.
And that
so
worked.
They did actually show a really good dive comp.
They did. Diablo, Greymane, Samuro, definitely a lot of potential for killing those squishy targets in the back, but I mean, your team managed to do just fine because those squishy targets didn't die at all, and Diablo got 5 deaths. You were all over that Diablo.
Definitely. May and Junkrat are basically Diablo's two biggest counters. So I was a little surprised to not see them get banned, but they are the best at zone control and countering dive heroes, especially Diablo, because he has no choice but to really walk in. It's not like Muradin where you have to forget him to jump to whatever spot you want. You have to walk at someone. So we kind of just planned on like, let's establish a zone of control and then wait for them to come to us. We don't need to fight them. We don't need to dive them. Let's be patient, make them come in, and then we counter whoever's up front. So sometimes that was Greymane first, sometimes that was Diablo first, sometimes it was Orphea. It just depends on who came in first. Which is a little harder when you have a reactive game plan where we don't have a clear-cut target, but I think my team did good at adapting and holding it and being patient, which is historically not something for us. We're pretty like, we want to kill you, we want to fight now, we want to make the fight happen. We're practicing being more patient, so I think we did a good job.
I think that worked very well for you.
Definitely.
You were very, very effective as well as at taking the camps. Your macro game was very, very impeccable, so well done on that.
Thank you.
In the first game, the AnarchY was going for a pick comp, it looked like. They had a lot of potential lockdown and damage on a single target. How did you approach that potential danger to your squishy backline?
The biggest thing that you trade away when you take like Variant Tracer Kerrigan, right? They have extreme single target CC and kill power, but they gave up heavy wave clear. So we kind of immediately decided when we saw those picks, we were like, okay, let's switch gears. We're not going to try to beat this team at their own game. Let's try to focus on macroing, flooding the lanes with bruiser camps, and like make them fight the minions, because it takes forever for them to clear bruiser camps. That was the one thing their team comp couldn't really do, was effectively do the bruiser camp. Because with Malthael, it just takes a really long time. Even though he won't die, it just takes a really long time. Kerrigan's is really mana hungry. Tracer can't really do anything but the siege camps. So it was kind of just, let's try to switch gears to a macro comp and force them to deal with the thing that they don't want to. So we did a lot of like pushing buildings and taking camps instead of just trying to outfight them. Because as you saw, the one time they did get to our Junkrat, it's like instant death when there's a Kerrigan and a Tracer in a game, especially having a taunt Varian. It's like the moment the first person hits you, you're pretty much dead.
Your team's Anubarak, though, did a very, very good job at peeling and saving the lives several times of people who were caught in that taunt combo, even going as far as to cocooning whoever was doing the most damage. So that was very well done on their part.
Definitely. Honey Badger is our newest member, and our new main tank, and he has grown like unimaginably throughout this season, very, very rapidly. I mean, we just picked him up in tryouts at the beginning of the year, and we just started really heavily playing with him around like May, June timeframe, and he's grown like insanely well. Doing really good with anchoring the bushes, just covering all the bases for a main tank. I was really, really happy, and like our whole team was shouting his name when he saved us in that middle fight in the mid lane after the dragon went away. He saved me. Much to his dismay, I turned around to try to get a second kill instead of only the first, so I greeted a little bit. But outside of that, he did a really, really good job for sure in game one.
Definitely. I also saw your team banning a lot of the healers out of AnarchY. Was there any particular strategic reason for that?
More so than banning things against Yurkowski specifically, we were more so thinking about, okay, this is how our comp secures a kill. Which healer counters that? Or which healer prevents that? And that was how we tried to do our bans, was based off that. It wasn't necessarily, like from the jump, it wasn't really meant to be a heavily support ban game. But it was just kind of okay, they want to kill us this way, or we want to kill them this way, and this healer prevents that, so we're going to ban that.
I see. Very, very good job setting up strategies and adapting to what your opponent was doing. In that first game on Dragonshire, I was particularly impressed with the Dehaka play. Dehaka being very good at taking advantage of the 4-man creating pressure somewhere, attracting the team of AnarchY, and then Dehaka going where the enemy team was not, and putting some pressure there. Very well played.
Definitely. Really proud of Shrinks. He was our newer member in the last season. He had just joined, him and Heathcliff and Sanger. And so just due to things in the army, we kind of have to restructure every year, which is kind of rough considering other teams get more time together. But they've grown. I'm really happy with this group. I think this is the strongest our team has been historically, and we have a really good thing going right now. So I'm really happy with all my newer people and how well they've meshed into our system for how the team runs.
I do look forward to see how your team is going to progress as well into this division. Something I had meant to ask you, and you reminded me to actually ask you, is your team's name, U.S. Army Esports. Are you all in the U.S. Army?
Yes, we are. It is not just it's not just a name. We are actually all either active, guard, or reserve. Most of us being active duty. So we are all military and affiliated with the official U.S. Army Esports program, to which there's teams for a lot of different games and things like that. So
that's wonderful. I'm so glad that you're able to have some fun with HOTS despite your service. Thanks for your service, by the way.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
So, is there any shout out you'd like to make before we close this interview, or anything you'd like to add?
Just our usual. Obviously, shout out to you and NGS. I appreciate you giving us a cast. We always enjoy it, and it's good to watch back our replays and see what you saw. So we appreciate that. Thank you to U.S. Army Esports letting us be a part of the program and playing under their name. And thank you to my teammates for working with me on practices and map picks and plans and things like that. And just a lot of time because we are spread across all the time zones. So thank you to them and their families for how much we struggle with the time scheduling.
Awesome. Congratulations again for your victory, and my regards to the rest of your team as well. And
thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks for giving me such great games to cast.
Absolutely. We appreciate it. You take care.
You too. Have a good rest of your day.
All right. You do the same.
Alright, that is going to conclude tonight's games. A very, very fast, a very, very quick match. I was hoping for a little more close play and a little more games, but I'm satisfied with what I have. That was a very, very good display of strategy and team synergy from US Army Esports. Before we close, quick shout out that I want to do myself. First of all, to NGS. If you like NGS and what they do, and you want to support them so that they can continue to do it, don't hesitate to support them on their Patreon or on any other way. They do have a merch store, beautiful merch that they sell, t-shirts, mugs, I believe, all that. And for myself, I do video editing professionally, if you're interested in that. I am currently open for work. And my links are in my description down from the stream, so don't hesitate to contact me if that's something that would interest you, or if you have any question on the matter. That's going to be it for me tonight. That was a very fun cast. I hope you enjoyed it too. Thanks to Heathcliff for showing up to root for your team. And I'm going to stream again very, very soon. Until then, I hope you all take care of yourself and have a wonderful time, wonderful games in NGS. See you soon.
Bye.